Doesn't seem too uncomfortable, and we have a little desk. Tonight is my first ever call shift here at the Children's Hospital. I had one consult so far, so I saw this lovely 14-year-old girl who came in with a right upper quadrant pain, which is pain right in this region. And based on her presentation, as well as lab results showing elevated amylase and lipase, we think it is acute pancreatitis. And with acute pancreatitis in pediatric populations, the most common cause is gallstones. However, when this patient presented to a community hospital yesterday, they did some imaging like ultrasound and x-ray, and they ruled out gallstone. So we are trying to figure out what the cause is. We don't know yet. And I did some searching, and the cause could be, there's a wide variety of potential causes, including trauma, toxins, drugs, medications, etc. And some rare causes are genetic and rare malignancies. So how I approached this consult is I was first introduced to the patient. I learned a little bit about her presentation from the resident who did the handover. I went online and looked up pancreatitis, how to do the investigations, what questions to ask, what things to look for on physical exam, and made a list of things to ask and look for. And then I went back to the patient room and did my full assessment, asked some really detailed questions, went through review of systems to make sure we don't miss anything. And then I did a full head-to-toe exam, as we always do for admissions. So I wrote up my consult or admission summary, and I'm waiting for the senior resident to review it. It's my first ever consult and first ever admission summary, so I'm prepared to receive lots of feedback. So it is currently 11:19 p.m. and it's way past my bedtime because I've been going to bed between 9:30 and 10, but I feel wide awake. It's probably a combination of feeling excited to be on my first call shift and also the coffee I had this evening. So I'm gonna try to learn some stuff. I think I'm gonna review some antibiotics and look up more things about pancreatitis and wait for the senior resident to call me when he's done with his consults in the emerge. So I'll keep you guys updated. Good morning, guys. Today is Friday, July the 1st, aka Canada Day. So here I am in the call room. I just woke up and I surprisingly had a good sleep. I just wanted to turn on the camera and give an update as to how the night went. So last night I was telling you guys about the consult I did. So I had a chance to review the admission summary with my senior, and I got some really good tips. Moral of the story, Just try to make it as detailed as possible. Sometimes it feels like you're overdoing, but especially as an MSI 3, I'm just starting to get used to this system and getting familiarized with the documentation stuff. So it's good to put as much detail as possible and always keeping in mind who will be reading it. So you want to give or paint a full picture as to who this patient is and what background did he or she come from. The parts that I will remember to include next time is birth history and developmental history. I was kind of debating because my patient was a 14-year-old and I didn't know how relevant birth history and developmental history would have been. But since there might be genetic or congenital conditions that could be associated, it would have been helpful to include, and it takes only a few seconds to ask. As well, if it's a teenager, for social history, it's good to include a HETS assessment, which gives an overview of the child's social life at home and at school. It includes things like strength, education, home environment, eating, safety, sexuality, and so on. I did that, and the whole consult took me about, I would say, 3 hours, including the time I did my research on the condition. And it took me a while to actually write it all out because there was quite a lot of information and you want to piece them together to create a coherent picture. After that, I hung out with some of the residents, and by that time it was 1 or 1:30 a.m. and I wasn't feeling tired because I had had coffee earlier. So I apologize that my voice is cracking. It's definitely not the most pleasant to listen to, but I just wanted to give an update while my memory is fresh. So that was the night, and it is currently 6 a.m. So I'm gonna go up and see what they're doing and go from there.